Well, I brought a slide presentation, and you'll see that the first one right there is what Kirby asked me to do. Do not, repeat, do not duplicate anything anyone has said today or yesterday. Okay. I want to thank the Duchesne. Where's Duchesne County? All right. Now, I want you to know that famous quote reported back to Brigham Young that the territory is good for whatever the Indians use and holding the rest of the world together, but other than that, it's a wasteland. Came from my grandmother's father. They were out there in 1850s. So I just want you to know, and she was born in Duchesne. And another little issue, everybody know about Utah. See, I'm not repeating anything anybody said yet. I'm working up to it. You'll see right here in the next slide that my great uncle had the only grocery store in the town of Mighton. And Mighton, now see, he knows Mighton because that grocery store then was turned into the famous Three Dog Saloon run by the motorcycle gang you'll see right here. It is no longer in business. Let's get down to work here. I have been amazed, and I am just absolutely in awe of all of the people in this room that have degrees, that have initials behind their name. And I noticed that I didn't. But I want you to know, now, are you taking notes, Matt? Okay, very good. I do have a PhD, and it happens to be in the School of Hard Knocks. I followed that up with a master's degree in applied reality. I have to say that because, you know, that's where I come from. Dirt poor, born out there in the middle of the eastern Utah desert. Happened to be with my mother, but she was a native of Colorado all the way back to 1860s. Part of the family got away and went to Utah before that. But anyway, oil and gas has been in the family. Since anybody hear of the Burr Trail out in Utah? Out there, anybody know what the Burr Trail is? Tamara does because she just rolls her eyes back when I say that. Grandfather was the one on the bulldozer that the county hired to widen it, which started all of the RS 2477 issue. What he happened to be doing was oil and gas development roads. Carter Oil Company. That's where it started, and the family's been in it ever since. I had my very first lawsuit. Anybody happen to know Bill Barrett Sr., founder of the Piance Basin, etc.? I got to sue him. He's a nice guy. Had one hell of a bulldog attorney. We sued him in 2000, and by the way, I was a commissioner in 97, so those that weren't born then don't understand what I'm talking about. But anyway, I sued Bill because on 64 different issues, he wanted to do 10-acre spacing on the ground. Anybody remember this photo that we showed before? Happens to be the standard 40-acre surface unit that had one well. Well, he wanted to do 10-acre spacings, as you see here, on that space at surface level. We said no. We sued him. We lost 63 of the 64 questions that we put under oil and gas. And I hope that you guys appreciate the one we won, and that was directional drilling. Directional drilling at that time in 2000 was unheard of. It's impossible, it's uneconomical, and there is no standard that we could ever do. What is standard today? Directional drill. And the things that went along with directional drill, from flaring, we hate flaring, unless it's emergency and you got to thaw things out or whatever, and let out some of the pressure, etc. We understand that. We changed that. We allowed the industry to experiment. Just as we heard, as you see up in Weld County, up in Sublet, up there in Sweetwater, and also over there in Duchesne, we allowed them to do their job. Come up with different ideas and allow them to do it. And all of a sudden, we had to monitor the air just to prove the point. 2003 is actually when we started grab samples from concerned citizens about oil and gas development. Grab samples were then sent to California. It took a whole bunch of time to come back because nobody trusted California, so we had to have it verified in Denver, and et cetera. Citizens did that. There was a little bit of tainting every now and then. We found some of the tanks that were tainted or whatever. So we finally got down to running it by the county or by professionals. We put in monitor stations, as you saw, Kirby's slide over here. There's 5 of them, 6 of them now. We are the only county that has a mobile air monitor in the state of Colorado, and we just placed that in Glenwood Springs to get baseline data. Of course, Glenwood Springs has never had oil and gas development, even though there's wells up on the 4 Mile, and they were put there in 1960s, 70s, and what have you. They're still there and they're still operating, but we didn't have any oil and gas development in that area. And not to mention outside of Carbondale. Where's my girl from Carbondale? City council lady was sitting right over here. Anyway, she knows. There, no, that's Ginny. She's up 108 Road at the coal mine. So we know where she is. But the whole idea was we believe in listening to people. We really do. The air monitoring is $2.5 million that we've got going. We continue to do that. We have some of the best data that you could ever find. You know, everybody talks a little bit about VOCs. How many different VOCs do we monitor? Anybody got an idea? Give me a number. Oh, no, there she is. She's got the answer. She does it on a daily basis. First of all, I want to take Pam, how many? Have no idea. Come on, come on. Tyler, how many we got going? How many do we monitor for? We test for on a daily basis. 5. He says 5. Morgan, tell him how many we have. How many? 90. How many in the state of Colorado test for that many VOCs? Not to mention ozone and a few other particulates from 2.5 to 10 microns, etc. All of that is being done at the expense of the county, because we believe that the information, and remember, it's not education, it's information, technical information, things that are hard facts put in front of people. And yes, they can debate it, it could become political, but we believe in putting out the real information so that you understand it. And if we have a need for a technical advisor, in fact, I stole Kirby from USGS, he's a water specialist, and because we had the unfortunate blowout or the leak in Divide Creek, they call it Divide Creek Seep, I was able to get an expert out of USGS and knew a little bit about water until he became the local governmental designee, and he's forgotten about all of the water, and all he knows about is oil and gas now. But those are the experts that we heard the name Doug Dennison. Doug Dennison, he didn't know a doggone thing other than being a geologist and in oil and gas and a few other things. We convinced him that he needed to be the first full-time oil and gas liaison in Garfield County. What a wonderful job. He moved on and did some other things. He is still helping people as consultant. We now have Kirby. He's got a few credentials, and I can't tell you how valuable the staff members can be. They have to go out on a daily basis, put their reputation out there, and say, hey, let me hear your stories. You think that pager, and remember the community counts one, there it is, that works. Community count works. You need to put it in your county, you need to listen to it. You have to understand that this is an industry that we look at as our 70% or 76% revenue source from. They have a voice too, but they also have to toe the line. And when we talk about the rules and regulations, they deserve to be at the table and have a voice as well, and we allow that. State of Colorado, Matt Lepore, even before you, had the oil and gas conservation chief, all that other stuff that you got title-wise. We're there in Garfield County sitting on a quarterly basis with operators, with citizens, with, again, governments, and that's federal government, state government, local government, city governments, whatever you want to call it. They were all equal. We listened. We still do that today. The oil and gas one, Mr. Sampson sitting in the back. Raise your hand, Michael. He chairs it with Mr. Lepore. We have a biannual operators conference with all of, where's Tamara? Tamara's in the back, with community development, and they sit down and talk about issues across the table from one another. There is communication. Any kind of rule changes with the state of Colorado, we've been a partner. We have been, again, status to sit at the table, give our input, give the data, and be heard. Son of a gun, they listen. Not to everything, but they do listen to some things. I work on Matt a little bit more, but we really feel the information, the exchange of information, and how we come across. Now, Wally and I are great. We're almost twins, you know. We're in the little boys' room there, and I told him, I said, I think we're going to cross swords. I think I tried to set him up on that just a little bit, because we were so diverse, at least on the outside. Duchesne County, and all the people that gave you information, all are valuable, each and every one of you. This forum is for your gathering of information. Take it home, analyze it, use it, make your own decision, pave your own road. You are a representative of your community. Listen to your community, do what's right, and hopefully you'll save money. And also you'll make money. And Mr. Sampson also wanted me to ask, how many that are still in the room got the local bargain basement price of $69 over at the hotels? Everybody? Good, because they were usually $59. Anyway, thank you very much for that. I'm going to turn it over to Kirby for any kind of question. I know that I tried not to repeat a lot of things. I could go on for hours, but I can't, because you guys, I'm the only thing between you and that door to go home. So thank you.
So you stay right.